what you're looking at here is this year's Christmas tree. We are going to take this whole fir tree down. Now, the people that we purchased the property from actually planted these fir trees here, which we find kind of interesting because they are somewhat of a fire hazard. However, the reason that we're targeting these trees, which is this kind of little grove up here for our Christmas tree farm for the next several years, is because this is where our solar panels are. And as you can see, it's mid to late afternoon in the wintertime, and these trees are blocking the light from our panels. So we kind of have a 2-for-1 experience here, where we're going to be getting a Christmas tree and we're going to be letting a little more light shine onto our solar panels. So William and Santa Clara are going to get started getting ready to take this tree down.
Like this.
Yep, like that. We are going to have to be pretty careful. We're going to have to drop this tree right here in this open space, and preferably not on the solar panels. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, you like it, huh?
Uh-huh. Too bad we don't have that glowing star thingy that to put on the tippy top of the tree.
Yeah, we'll have to get one of those sometime. Oh, Daddy's good. Perfect job, Daddy.
Cut down the whole tree, actually.
Very nice. All right.
How are we gonna take it home?
That's a fine question, honey.
We have to strap it onto the top.
We are, except that our ceilings in our current house are pretty low. So we're only really looking at the top 7 feet or so of this. It's pretty thin as far as branches go, but stay tuned and I'll show you a little trick that I've used since I was a little girl, and my mama taught me to fill in the gaps on trees like this.
Can you teach me that?
I will absolutely teach you that.
Santa.
All right, we're starting to cut it to size here. Operating on the principle that you can always cut more off. Do you mind standing it up?
First we have to cut it.
That is way too tall. If nothing else, cutting shorter sections off makes it easier to go in the green waste barrel.
Or you can burn it.
Perfect.
Nah, it's got to come off more. Next one up, I think. Right here.
Wait, where were put it? Perfect. Let's see it, Daddy. Right, I think it's way too tall. Stand it up to see.
Looks great till you realize you got a 6-foot hobbit house.
I know. I think that's fine.
Good.
All right, this is actually perfect. I'm gonna trim off the top couple inches anyway and stick it in my pickle barrel that was my grandmother's. I'm back out here with the lengths that we cut off because I'm gonna steal some of these branches and put them into the tree. So let's see, I think this would be a good one right here. So I've got my pruners. I'm gonna go right here where the saw hit. Nip that off. Okay, that's one. Now I'm not taking out any of the super long ones because I don't want my tree to extend super far out into the room. So I'm focusing more on the shorter, sturdier branches that I have access to here. So you can see just how sparse this tree is. Luckily, I've got plenty of branches to pull from. I'm going to take the knife and clear the bark off the bottom, half inch or so. This tree trunk is not all that thick, so you don't want to clear off too much bark. So I'm going to strip the bark off the bottom half inch or so of each of these branches. Then I'm going to take my drill and my bits and match the diameter of the branch that I'm working with and drill a hole at an angle into the trunk and then just jam these extra branches in there. Once we have the water in the pot, the water will wick up the trunk and inside the branches, and it'll last just fine through Christmas. I'm just using a basic utility knife to take the bark off here. You could use whatever knife you want if you're a whittler or whatnot. Some key things I want to mention here though. So you want to make sure that your end result is fairly round because your drill bit is round. So your hole will be round, and we all know the old adage about square pegs and round holes. So be mindful of the shape as you take your bark off. And as I mentioned before, also be careful not to take too much bark off because you want that bark to sit flush with the bark that's on the trunk of the tree. All right, so here's my first branch I'm working with. Here's my first drill bit. It's hard to see here, but these are pretty similar in size. And I think I'm gonna put this one right around in here, right there. So that is where I'm gonna drill my hole. Now, I'm gonna drill it at an angle pointed down because then gravity will help hold that branch in place. So that's my plan. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, there's my hole. You can see it doesn't go all the way through, which is exactly what I was going for. There's nothing wrong with putting the hole all the way through. And I could easily do that here because I'm backed up against a corner. No one would ever see it from the back side, but just something to be mindful of. Now we've added our first branch. Next up, I think I'm gonna try and put one up here in this section. And I think I'm gonna go for out this way. And here is the after. So I do have a little bit of area that you probably noticed. I could put another branch in there, but I'm thinking about the ornaments that I have. And the ornaments that I have, a lot of them require some space to hang down from. So I'm kind of intentionally leaving it this way so that my specific ornaments will work well. There you have it. That is how to build your own live Christmas tree. Brought to you by Off Grid Rising. Thanks a lot for watching. We really appreciate you, and we're grateful for you this holiday season. Have a merry, happy one.